The first person I'd like to bring out is someone that I met many, many years ago when I was first getting going in the business, and when I was in the original company. And I was very excited in that company. But one of my friends, Don Greneau, who I told you about, that was in the other company, invited me down to see a seminar with Jim Rohn in it. And yes. And I sat through this seminar with Jim, and Jim told me some stuff there that day that made a major difference for me. And it's going to make a major difference for you, too. You know, you can hear all this information that we're talking to you about, and we can give you all the stuff. But ultimately, if you as an individual don't do something with it, okay, nothing's going to happen, okay? We can make the tablets for you, okay, but you're the one that's got to swallow them every single day. We can tell you what to say about the brochures and what to do, but you know, we can't be the ones that hand them out for you every single day. You're the one that's got to do that. We can tell you what to do with the recruiting and so on, but you're ultimately the one that's got to go out and do something. That's something you got to do. And you're the one that's got to take the responsibility for everything that happens in your life. And fortunately for me, I found that out at a very early age. And fortunately for me, I learned it because when I started Herbalife, I only had me. That was all I had. I didn't have a sponsor. I didn't have someone that got to pump me up every day. You know, I didn't have someone that I could lean on, that they could say, go down and, you know, he'll help you out. No, I had to do all that. And when I learned that from Jim, that it was ultimately going to be up to me for everything that was going to happen in my life, okay, I became a different person. And let me tell you something, you can become different, okay? I mean, I was just a kid that was with a 9th grade education, okay, that had some great ideas, okay? But if you continue to work and work and work, and then also work on yourself as an individual, it's amazing what can happen in your life. So today, as I bring him up, I want you to really tune in. You're listening, write every single thing down that he says, because there's no question, okay, with the stuff that he's going to be giving you here today, incredible things can happen to you. So I'd like to invite my good friend, Jim Rohn. Come on out.
I made a few notes on the extraordinary summary of the Herbalife success story. And here are some of the notes I made. Number one, it starts with a man and a message. Mark Hughes, from an extraordinary experience he had, losing his mother when he was 18, she was 36. She was trying to lose a few pounds, got hooked on the diet drugs, and started seeing 1, 2, 3, 4 doctors all behind their backs to keep this habit going. And she accidentally died from a drug overdose, just trying to lose a few pounds. Mark said, what a tragedy, I've lost my mother. And if she would have had some safe way, she could have saved her life instead of this obsessive way with the drugs. So Mark said, I'll find a way, I'll produce a product in honor of my mother. And that's exactly what he did. A man with a message and a man with a product. The message was, I've got to take the story as far as I can around the world and perhaps save some mothers from losing their life by getting hooked on the drugs, by finding a safe way, a nutritional way to lose a few pounds, get your health in order. So that was his message, an extraordinary man with an extraordinary message. And it's a unique success story about those products that meet an incredible need. In America, Herbalife's been selling these products now for the last almost 20 years, and there's now great percentages more people who are overweight and need this product than when we started almost 20 years ago. So you can see, we've almost been frantically trying you know, to reach as many people as we can, but the need is so staggeringly far beyond Herbalife's current reach. But hopefully we're going to correct that in the next few years as far as possible. But the population keeps growing and the world keeps expanding. And now, of course, doing business around the world, you can see Herbalife has its work cut out for it to try to reach everybody as soon as possible with this unique message of extraordinary products. And the product does the job. The greatest testimonial about the product is what it does for people and their personal testimonials. And by every standard and by every test, and Herbalife's been through the most severe tests. Every government, of course, takes a new look when we move into a new country. And Herbalife's passed all the tests. But what a success story Herbalife has been, the man, the message, and the product. The next, of course, extraordinary summary of Herbalife's 20 years is the opportunity. The opportunity. Mark wanted an opportunity to offer to everybody because he only went to the 9th grade in school, didn't have, you know, the full-blown education of, you know, the extra years of university, college, and all the rest. And he said, I'd like to give everybody a chance like I had the chance to start from the bottom, work my way to the top, not have someone say, you know, what university did you graduate from? So Mark said, I want to give an opportunity. How could I do it? What kind of marketing system? And that's why he chose network marketing, a person-to-person, regardless of your age, regardless of your education, regardless of the mistakes you've made in the past, you know, regardless of where you find yourself, the circumstances, regardless of color, regardless of religion. Mark said, I wanted an opportunity that would reach all the way to anyone who, one, were struck by the value of these products, inspired by the testimonials, and expressed a willingness to go take some time and share the story. So it's been an extraordinary story for the last 20 years of unusual opportunity. It's a simple marketing system, person to person, but it's extraordinary in its magic. The next person you meet could be a friend for life. The next person you meet, you could retire. The next person you meet could be a business colleague for years to come. That opportunity. The opportunity to directly and indirectly bring value to thousands of people. Mark now, of course, can say directly and indirectly, I found a way to bring value to millions of people. And your imagination might not be able to stretch that far, but I'm telling you, tens of thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people, and some of you hundreds of people, I'm telling you, you can reach a lot of people with incredible value by using this marketing opportunity. That is a story in itself. And of course, the network marketing story alone is one of the giant stories of the century, using this system, not going to the store, but person to person. It is extraordinary. And it's the wave of the future. It's going to be one of the most important dynamic methods of marketing in the 21st century. And no company is better prepared both to introduce it to the new people that haven't experienced it and perfect it in its dynamic use in the early years of the 21st century. Nobody's better prepared to do that than Mark and Herbalife. It's a dynamic story of a structure and a support system that is unique. This broadcast today is part of that structure, part of that support system, where Mark picks up the tab for my services, right? Pays for the whole structure so that it can come to you via satellite. It's an extraordinary opportunity to be part of a structure that gives you the foundation, that gives you the support, so that you can work the business and make your fortune. It's a unique system of recognition. Mark's a genius when it comes to recognition. Hey, take some steps and, you know, we'll call you noble. You know, take a few more steps and we'll call you the greatest. You know, take a few more steps and, you know, we'll honor you with whatever, and we'll let you be a part of an inner circle, a unique group of people. That kind of recognition is one of the stories of the century, and Mark put that all together. Support system that gives honor to the people that deserve the honor, respect to the people that deserves the respect. It's a unique support system of community. right? Community of people from all walks of life, languages, all backgrounds, and as a community making their individual contributions to the whole group. Right here on this broadcast network, people come like I do today and sit and tell their story. An individual making a contribution to the whole network. An individual story used to inspire everybody that watches and everybody that listens. That is an extraordinary support system. And the people who participate, right, are greatly rewarded because they get a chance to tell their story. But they also have, as I have today, the unique feeling of being part of something unique that supports the people who participate and gives them information, inspiration, ideas, and this sense of family, community. It is incredible. What I did was I took the word Herbalife and I put each word under each letter under each other right down the page, Herbalife. And then I took each letter and just sort of quickly thought of what that letter might inspire me in terms of a word that would be meaningful in this dynamic Herbalife success story. And of course the first letter was H, and I quickly put down health and happiness. Herbalife deals in both, better health, getting your health in order. Fortunately, my mother taught me good health practices way back that have served me well all these years. My father lived to be 93. I'm following along. I know what good health is all about, and I know of people all around me that haven't had that kind of unique health and vitality, and they've misused and abused and haven't followed good guidelines. But fortunately, I got them early and followed them all these years. And then along comes Herbalife products, like frosting on the cake for me, that gives me this incredible energy of, you know, traveling the whole world, telling my story, and sharing ideas with all of you. So I know what the health means. The happiness, a chance to participate in something extraordinary. You know, there's personal happiness and marriage happiness and family happiness and happiness being a father, being a mother. There's happiness with good friends, but there's also the unique happiness of belonging to a remarkable family, because this is sort of a business social family that we belong to, Herbalife. In fact, when Mark got the company started, when he signed a distributor, he would say, "Welcome to the family." And of course, it seemed more like a family back then, right? Because there was just a few, you know, the 10s and 40 and 50 and then 100 and 150. And so it was a family. But now, truly, it still is an international family of colors and sights and sounds and language and dress and style. It's unbelievable. It's still uniquely a family, because when people become part of Herbalife, they have this family kind of feeling that they belong to something unique, and that creates extraordinary happiness. But happiness is too big a subject to cover here. We'll talk about it in some other session. But those are pretty good words associated with the letter H, health and happiness. And I must give you these quickly because I don't have that much time. The E letter I wrote down quickly, energy. Energy, of course, from better health, energy from these unique products. And we even have a unique product called NRG, energy. But the energy that comes from good nutrition, the energy that comes from following your dreams, the energy that comes from challenge, right? Where you really gear up, get the juices flowing because you've got a challenge to accomplish, you've got a job to do, that kind of energy. Mark has had this restless kind of unbelievable, powerful energy that has served him so well all of these years. I know part of it's the product story, but some of it I'm sure he must have inherited. This remarkable energy that never seems to dissipate. It's remarkable. The next E word I had was education. Herbalife spends more time training than any company I know. You know, we have a 3 or 4 day extravaganza. Most all of those days are training. Ideas, information, giving people ways, means. Here's a bit more refinement, a bit more refinement. Herbalife distributors, I promise you, have become the best educated in terms of business practices, network marketing, the best educated when it comes to, you know, how to operate, how to work with people, develop those skills, that kind of education. It is beyond belief. Part of my role all these years has been to help people with their accelerated educational program to invest not only in their business, but to invest in their personal lives. And the greatest compliment I get back is, Mr. Owen, your ideas have helped my accelerated educational program. Look what's happened to my business. Look what's happened to my life. I'm excited about my part in this. Let me finish here. The R of Herbalife, I put reliable. Old Faithful now. You know, we're not as old as General Motors, you know, and we're not as old as, you know, some of the old line companies. But 20 years is now gathering some maturity. You know, we're past the teenage years in Herbalife. Isn't 20 years like close to a generation? It is 2 decades, 20 years. So maybe old reliable is stretching it just a little, but uniquely reliable over a good span of time, 20 years, that says something. And another R, I put reassurance. Everybody needs to be reassured that they've made wise decisions, that they're on track for future success, and that they've become a part of something that's going to be ongoing and is not only going to gather up information from the past, but invest it in the future and get better and better as the years unfold. Reassurance. The B, I had a unique word called basics. Nobody teaches the basics or uses them better than Herbalife. The basics of good nutrition, the basics of a marketing system, and of course my role is teaching the basics of personal development. For things to change, you've got to change. For things to get better, you've got to get better. The basics of what makes a good community, the basics of what makes a good personality, the basics. And there's just a few. Anybody can learn the basics, the fundamentals. Be a little suspicious if someone says we got a new fundamental. Say, no, fundamentals are old. If somebody says, you know, we're manufacturing antiques, I mean, you got to be a little suspicious. But the basics of how the business works, how to build a mega million, now multi-billion-dollar company like Herbalife. The basics. Mark's practiced them flawlessly. And I'm telling you, he can teach it for you, whether you have just a little business around your home or whether you want to do business around the world. The basics of being an entrepreneur. A chance to be a world-class entrepreneur following Herbalife's basics. Not having the burdens of the corporate structure, but being an entrepreneur in your own right. Basics. There's basics of philosophy. Haven't got time to go into all of them. Here was the A in the Herbalife, action. Right from the beginning, Mark took action, followed through, did the deal. And he's been teaching high activity ever since. You know, if you want the reward, you must do the work. You got to see the people. You've got to tell the story. You've got to conduct the meetings. Taking action. I teach action is the final step of the 3 magic steps to produce reality. Tangible reality. First is imagination, which is so powerful it's almost real. Second is faith, which is so close to real it's unbelievable. Third is putting imagination and faith to work, muscle, action. And then the action builds the hotel. The action builds the product. The action finds a polio vaccine. The action builds a career. The action constructs a cathedral, right? The action builds good health. That final word, action, is responsible for all reality. I also put another word for the A, and that was answers. The whole world is looking for answers. Herbalife's got a long list. Be a good idea, a little formula for you to try sometime is to say, here's what the world's looking for, and how many answers have we got to what the world and the individuals and the people are looking for? How many answers have we got? You'd be surprised, the list over here on the Herbalife side. The L, of course, is love. There are many virtues and many values, the prophet said, but the greatest is love. I describe it in one way, one person caring for another. That's the most extraordinary life value there is. And we find a lot of that in Herbalife, right? Distributors caring for customers, distributors caring for distributors, leaders caring for supporters, a unique leader caring for the organization. This whole caring expressed L, love. Then I wrote down lecture, and that's what Herbalife's all about: teaching, training, lecturing, giving information. I also wrote down an L word called light, helping people to see the light. They've been in the dark, didn't know, now they see. I, in the Herbalife, I had income, insight, individual. An extraordinary way to change your income almost overnight. Here's why that's possible. When you first hear the product story, you could go share that story with someone the same day by selling someone on future results. I've just found this product. I think I'm going to get fantastic results. Would you like to have it too? The same day. I found an opportunity that I think is going to revolutionize my future income. Would you like to try it when I try it? I mean, the same day you hear it, you can sell it. That's an extraordinary kickstart if you want your income to change. Next is insight. And this is where Herbalife excels. Insight into human nature. We deal with such a wide variety of personalities. Mark's got the biggest challenge, you know, handling the chairman's club and handling the president's team, getting them to work together. It's, you know, it is a seemingly impossible task because there's egos and there's personalities and there's all this together, which is part of the human drama. But the insight of how to make all of that work in spite of all the differences, there's plenty of things in common to forge a team, to build a fortune and a story. That's insight. Then the emphasis, I, is on the individual. Each person telling the story, each person passing it on, each person becoming better each day, each person growing, each person developing skills. That's what makes Herbalife so powerful, each person. Not the individual disappearing, but the individual making a contribution. For the F in Herbalife, I had famous. Fame is good because it inspires. Fame, not just to be unduly proud, but fame that reaches, fame that gives an extraordinary, larger-than-life testimonial. It gives a worldwide testimonial. Fame is important, not just for fame, but for fame as a beacon light. Fame that says, hey, it can be done. Fame that says, look what a few extraordinary people can start, and look what they can finally accomplish after the first 20 years. That kind of fame. It's inspiring, it's reassuring, it's incredible. Now the last E in Herbalife, the first one was energy and education. My last E to finish today was everyone. Here's what's exciting about the Herbalife journey. We don't need to leave anyone behind. We've got a place for everybody. Lydia Colon has a unique story. She didn't have the money to get started. 60 cents she invested in her distributorship. Now she's president's team, single mother with 2 children. But Lydia went and told the Herbalife story and got a customer to give her the money to go get the customer's product. And here's what Lydia told that first customer. If I bring you your product using your money, I will make a small profit. And if I do that often enough, I will have enough profit to buy the product for myself and my children. Wow. That is a dynamic story that says we don't need to leave anybody out. So now let's talk about a little bit of my history and a little bit of few of the things that I've learned that helped me to become successful in network marketing. By the time I was 27, 28 years old, I was earning $30,000, $35,000 a month, which back in those days was a lot of money. But the things I learned helped me to do that. The things I learned, of course, about network marketing, that you can start with very little and build something incredible. That you start with one person at a time, and then 2 people, and then 3 people. First thing you know, you've got 4 or 5 people involved with you in your organization. You first start with 5 or 10 customers, and then 40 or 50 customers, and then 100 customers. And so that philosophy of building person by person is very, very powerful. And that's why Mark chose this method of marketing. So I'd like to discuss some of Mark Hughes's philosophy. I'd like to give you some of the company philosophy. I'd like to give you some of my personal philosophy that I think will be beneficial to make this meeting here today very, very worthwhile. First of all, let me give you just a bit of the personal philosophy that really changed my life. In order to be successful, number 1 is to develop multiple skills. I was taught this back when I was 25 years old. When my first skill, of course, milking cows out on the farm, but it didn't pay very well. So here's what my mentor said when I was 25 years old: you must learn more than one skill. And especially now that we're entering the 21st century, if you were going to give someone excellent personal advice, here's the best advice you could give someone if they said, looks like you're successful, what personal advice would you give me for me to be successful? And here's what you should tell them: there's going to be fantastic opportunity in the 21st century. Not only in China, but every country of the world. Now that democracy and freedom and liberty is really sweeping the world, and now that capitalism, how to start with so little and develop service for the marketplace, is now the order of the day, opportunity in the 21st century is going to be unlimited. Now, especially for Herbalife, because the market for Herbalife products is more than we can even comprehend. Someone said to me not long ago, isn't $1 billion a year in sales a lot of sales? And I said, yes, but compared to the world market, it's like a grain of sand on the seashore. How much is $2 billion a year in sales? It's like 2 grains of sand on the seashore compared to the potential market around the world. When we get to 3 billion, that will be like 3 grains of sand on the seashore. Herbalife cannot grow fast enough to keep up with the market. We started selling Herbalife products 21 years ago in America. Today, there are more overweight people in America than there were when we started 21 years ago. And we're doing pretty good business in America. But we've only just barely touched the opportunity. So for the world as a whole, I think the 21st century is going to be a tremendous century of opportunity. But for Herbalife, it's going to be an unusual opportunity. Now, to take advantage of that opportunity, here's what you need. Number 1, multiple skills. More than one skill. When I was introduced to network marketing, I started learning these skills. Here's the first one I learned: how to make a sale, how to get a customer. I learned that skill, representing my product in the marketplace, getting people to say, yes, I will use your product. Now I've got 2 skills, milking cows and making sales. Guess which one paid better? Making sales, getting customers. Then I learned to recruit, build an organization, invite people to look at the opportunity and to join the company. And I found that recruiting people, getting them to do what you're doing, and if you're making an extra $100 a week selling Herbalife products, it's pretty easy to show someone how you're making this extra money, just by doing a few simple things, learning about the product, sharing it with other people. And I learned that recruiting paid extremely well, because the marketing plan that I saw in the beginning was just 2 circles. One circle said, this is you, and you can sell this product and earn money. The second circle underneath said you can introduce someone else to this business and help them to sell the product so that they can make money. Then the company will pay you extra money. That's what I saw at first. I only asked one question. How many of these people can I recruit to show them what I'm doing so that I'll make the extra money? And the answer was, as many as you wish. You can introduce as many people as you wish to the business. When I heard that, here was my comment: then I shall become wealthy. If there's no limit to the number of people that I can introduce to the business to show them what I'm doing so that they can make extra money, and then I not only make money on my own sales, but I make extra money by helping them to be successful. If that's unlimited, then my first response was, I shall become wealthy. That's all of the marketing system I really needed to see and to hear about for me to get excited about recruiting. Now, recruiting involves just three simple things. One is inviting people to look at the opportunity. The first people I wanted to look, of course, was my friends and relatives. And I said to them, it's not important to me that you join what I've got. It's not important to me that you buy, but it is important that you look. Because a year from now, if I'm doing very well, I wouldn't want you to call and say, how come you didn't call me? You didn't share with me this opportunity. And since I don't want that to happen a year from now, I'd like for you to at least look. I'm going to get plenty of people to join, so it's not important to me that you join, but it is important to me that you at least look. And so I learned to give a good invitation. Here was also one of my good invitations. I would be talking to someone and I would say, have you found the opportunity that's going to be excellent for financial opportunity for you and your family forever? Have you found the opportunity that's going to provide financial security for you and your family? If the answer was no, here was my second question. Are you actively looking for the opportunity that's going to provide financial security for you and your family? And if the answer to that question was no, then I said, let me give you the best advice perhaps that you've ever heard. The best advice you've ever heard, because this advice was given to me. If you haven't found the opportunity that's going to provide financial security for you and your family, the advice that was given to me was, you should start actively looking. Every week, you should spend some time looking for the opportunity that's going to provide financial security for you and your family. So, the advice that was given me helped me to quickly find Herbalife this opportunity. And so I would offer you that same advice. Actively look, so that you can report to your family, I'm still looking for the opportunity that's going to make us financially successful for the rest of our lives. I'm actively looking. So if you would accept my advice and to actively look, my opportunity I can show you right away. If you have time, we can get together just personally. If you have time, you can come to a meeting where we share the opportunity. And if you look at the opportunity I have, and if that's not for you, then here would be my advice. Keep looking until you find the opportunity that's going to give you financial security for you and your family forever. That was one of my invitations. So I learned to invite. Then I learned that there were two kinds of meetings, two kinds of presentation. One was informal, just person to person. Wherever, in a coffee shop, having a cup of coffee, talking to someone person to person. Because Herbalife is a fairly simple plan. You can sell this product, then you can introduce someone to sell the product, show them what you're doing, making an extra $100 a week. And for doing that, they make some money, but you also make some extra money. It's very simple to share the plan. Then there's the formal meeting, and you all know what the formal meeting is, where someone describes the history of the company, someone describes the product, someone does the marketing, and then you finish up the meeting asking people to consider being a part of Herbalife. Now, I learned recruiting. So first of all, I learned sales. That greatly changed my income. Second, I learned recruiting. And of course, that multiplied my income some more. So now I've got how many skills? 3, milking cows, making sales, recruiting people. Here's the next skill that really helped my business to grow, and that's organization. Once you've got 4 or 5 people, you organize them to work together. Because working together in Herbalife is very powerful. You've already learned that, and it's the reason you've grown so fast. Getting people to work together. Here's why: to share testimonials. If you and I have just a little small meeting and you've invited 2 guests and I've invited 2 guests, when our meeting is finished, the guests I've invited join, and I ask them, what caused you to join after this meeting? And here's what they might say: it was your partner's testimonial. Your partner's testimonial. Maybe my testimonial would have been enough, but that extra testimonial by working with someone helped to make the difference. So working together is powerful because we get to share testimonials. And we don't know which testimonial might be the most effective in helping us to get someone to join the business. Also, working together creates extra power, extra enthusiasm. There's an ancient phrase that says, if 2 or 3 agree on a common purpose, nothing is impossible. If 2 or 3 agree on a common purpose, nothing is impossible. The power of 2 or 3. You don't need 2 or 3,000, but just 2 or 3 getting together, saying, let's do it. So here's the most powerful incentive, especially in business. It's not you go do it, it's let's go do it. Let you and I do it. Let you and I get healthy. As soon as you've been introduced to Herbalife products, you can actually sell the product before you have any results. Here's how you do that. You sell anticipated results. I've found this incredible product, and it looks like, from the testimonials I've heard and the testimonials I've read, it looks like I'm going to get fantastic results. Wouldn't you like to get started the same time I do? So the same day you hear about Herbalife, you can actually sell it. You say, well, no, you've got to wait for results, and the answer is no. You can sell anticipated results. As soon as you join the business, you can recruit someone. I've just found this opportunity, and it looks like it's going to be financial opportunity for me, best I've ever had. It looks like I'm going to be incredibly successful. It looks like it's going to make me financially secure. Even part-time, it looks like it's going to double my income. Wouldn't you like to get started? So you can recruit someone right away. As soon as you've heard the opportunity, you can introduce someone to the opportunity by telling them about anticipated results. Looks like I'm going to get great results on the product, and it looks like this is the opportunity that's going to make me financially secure. Wouldn't you like to look, or wouldn't you like to join? That's very powerful. So I learned to recruit, I learned to sell, I learned to organize, get people working together. Then here's the next skill that really helped to change my business for the better, and that is learning promotion. Promotion is several parts. One major part of promotion is recognition. So here's what I learned. The company will reward distributors for major steps of progress. You must learn to reward people for small steps. The company takes care of the big steps. But you've got to think of ways to reward people for just the small steps. If someone gets 5 customers this week, you've got to think of some way to acknowledge them, giving them recognition. This person in my organization was #1 last month. because there can be more than number one, not just in Herbalife, not just in the state, not just in the organization, but in your group. Number one last month, this person. They were number 3 the month before, number 1 last month. Recognition. Show them that you care, okay? I send you little thank you notes. So I learned promotion. Then I learned to promote the company events. Here's what's next, Herbalife Company. Here's what's next, New York. Here's what's next, East Coast. Here's what's next, extravaganza. So promoting little small things, if you reach this, here's what you will achieve. The small steps of progress, and then promoting the large steps of progress, Herbalife. So now I've got how many skills? Milking cows, making sales, recruiting, organizing, promoting. I've got 5 skills. See, if you only have one skill, you're very vulnerable economically. Very vulnerable economically if you only have one skill. So you give people the greatest opportunity by having the teaching and the training to help people learn more than one skill. Nobody gives better service than you do in your marketplace. Getting people to use the products and restore their health, getting people to learn more than one skill, be part of the company. Now here's the next skill I learned, and that was the skill of communication. Affecting other people with my language, my words. Using my language to paint a picture where someone could see something when I finished that they couldn't see before. Language creates the miracle of sight. Being able to see, because there's more than one way to see. One way to see is with your eyes. The other way to see is with your mind. Seeing with your eyes we call sight. Seeing with your mind we call insight. It's possible for human beings to close their eyes and say, I see it. I see it. Say, how can you see with your eyes closed? Say, no, there's another way to see. There's another way to see besides with your eyes. And that's to see with your mind. And here's what you can do with your language. Help people to see. Help them to see the opportunity. Someone after you speak to them may say, before I met you, I was blind. I couldn't see. Now that I've talked to you, I'm beginning to see. What do we want people to see? Number 1, the problem. Because we're here to solve problems. Just a few pounds overweight, especially for a woman, is critical. A man can get by with a few pounds overweight, not that critical, but for a woman it's critical. 10 pounds overweight starts the critical, like this. 20 pounds overweight, really critical for developing health problems. 30, 40 pounds overweight, a man can get by with maybe 30, 40 pounds, but a woman, critical. 50 pounds overweight, way over here. 50, 60 pounds overweight, danger, 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 danger. Now, it's also critical for a man, but for a woman especially, just 10, 15, 20 pounds overweight starts critical. So, is there a place for Herbalife? The answer is yes. Millions of people now need the products you have in your hands. Right around where you live, especially on the East Coast, millions of people need your products. So first of all, we help people to see the need. You just have to say to your friends, you know, if you haven't thought about losing those pounds, I would advise you do, because here's what I've heard. And then you tell them the story. Dr. Jamie, others that share the story about how critical it is to be overweight. So we help them to see the need. Second, we help them to see the answers. We share the Herbalife product. And this is where Mark Hughes' philosophy comes in. Number one, he wanted the best, the most complete. Herbalife is so complete, in some countries, here's what we call it, a meal replacement. Now, you can't call it a replacement for a meal unless it is complete. It couldn't be half what you need. It has to be everything you need. It couldn't be part of what you need. Someone says you should take your vitamins, but that's not enough to take your vitamins. Yes, taking some extra vitamins would help. But if you want to lose a few pounds and you're going to use a meal replacement, it has to be complete. So here's number one, to get people to see that Herbalife is complete. It's not only the best, but it's complete. Now here's what they have to do when you tell them it's complete. Take your word for it. You say, well, should I trust you? Well, if you're not going to trust me, here's what you would have to do. Take the products and have them analyzed yourself, whatever that would cost. Then after someone analyzed the product, you'd have to take their word for it. The only way to be absolutely sure would be to analyze the product yourself. Otherwise, you've got to take somebody's word for it. And since we have 21 years of history, since we have incredible testimonials, since we have an unbelievable reputation, and we've been saying it's complete for 21 years, and if it wasn't complete, we'd have been out of business a long time ago. So I suggest you take my word for it. It is complete. Now, on the business side, you get them to see what they may lack in terms of financial opportunity. And those are good questions to ask. Have you found the financial opportunity that's going to provide financial security for you and your family? If you haven't found it, are you actively looking? Because we want them to see the need. Because you don't know what financial challenges may come this year, next year, next year. Better to prepare now to be financially secure than to take a chance with your fingers crossed. So we get them to see the need for the products, we get them to see the need for the opportunity. Then we get them to see the answer that Herbalife provides in terms of the product, and we get them to see the answer about the financial opportunity. Now here's the best way to illustrate the opportunity, both of the product and the business, and that's testimonials. So here's what we're asking you to do. Number one, develop your own testimonial about your success with the products. Develop your own testimonial about your success with the business. Not only for you to use your own testimonial, but for you to add one more testimonial to Herbalife's bank of testimonials. Now, make this note. Developing testimonials is hard work. You should always do more than you get paid for. Always do more than you get paid for. My father taught this philosophy to me. Do more than you get paid for. And here's what he added: to make an investment in your future. Even if you work on a job, if you do more than you get paid for, it makes you a valuable person. Valuable for promotion. Valuable for moving up. Valuable to the marketplace. Now, especially in Herbalife, if you do the extra work, here's the first work. Developing contacts. Getting the phone to ring, and you've already gone through that with flyers, ads, personal contact. Getting someone interested. Then number two, getting them to buy. Now, after they have purchased the product, you now have the money. But that's not the end of the work. Now you must invest time helping someone to use the product so that you have an excellent chance to get a good testimonial. Now, this time that you're investing is going to pay off later. The time you invest in helping someone use the product may not pay the first day, unless you get them to buy another one of Herbalife products. Once you have an Herbalife customer, you might as well say, if you're not using Herbalife shampoo, you might as well try it. So it's easy to talk about another product. So keeping in touch while you're developing the testimonial, it's possible to sell another product and another product. Products that people are normally using anyway. Might as well use Herbalife's product as someone else's. But here's the reason for investing that extra time and effort to develop a testimonial. Now, some customers are really tough. It takes hard work to get them to stay using the products. You call Mary and say, Mary, are you using the product? She says, no, they're not going to work for me. He said, yes, they are. He said, no, I'm standing on the scales right now, and I tell you I'm not losing weight. And you have to say, Mary, the product doesn't work while you're standing on the scales. As soon as you get off those scales, it'll start working. Anything you can think of, right, to get her to keep using the product. So that's a little painful, takes time, takes effort. But here's a little saying, the greater the pain, the greater the testimonial. Same is true with a distributor. Someone who wants you to deliver a product to them at midnight. And I'm sure you already know, right? Developing a distributor takes work, and developing a customer takes work. But jot this down, it's the kind of work that pays big money. Just selling the product can make you a living. Developing testimonials can make you a fortune. The fortune is in the extra work. Getting people to use the product, developing a testimonial, getting people to try the business, keep going till they develop some success. So now we've talked about using your language to get people to see the needs, see the answers. Now here's two more important parts of communication. Number one, getting people to see themselves. The mistakes they might have made in the past. They've been careless with their health. Now they're overweight. We have to help people see themselves as they are. But here's now the miracle of communication, to help people see themselves better than they are. By language, we can take people into the past to review mistakes. And by language, we can take people into the future to see the promise of the future. My first teacher had this extraordinary ability to do that. When I made mistakes in my own judgment, he was quick to point it out. He asked me why I was not doing well when I first met him, and I said to him, I showed him my paycheck, and I said, this is all the company pays. That's why I'm not doing well. And he corrected me and said, no, this is all the company pays you. He said, doesn't the company pay 2, 3, 4 times this amount to other people? And I said, yes. Then he said, this is not all the company pays. This is what the company pays you. I'd never thought of that before. Then he said, if you wanted to double and triple this amount, wouldn't you have to double and triple your value? I said, yes, I suppose so. He said, then that's what you should go to work on. You don't have to go to work on the company, you only have to go to work on yourself. It was so important by his language to point out the mistakes in my philosophy. I thought that my income was determined by the economy, and I found out that my income was determined by my philosophy. But then here's the greatest use of language, is to help people see themselves better than they are. to help them see themselves successful, to help them see themselves through your eyes until they can really see it for themselves. Someone says to me, I cannot see myself as president's team. Then I said, you need different glasses. You need to use my president's team glasses. Because if I loaned you these president's team glasses and you put them on, you would say, yes, there I am, president's team. So that's what we help people to do, to use our glasses. They borrow our glasses to see themselves successful. They see themselves financially independent. They see themselves with a big organization. They see it through your eyes. That's why we use testimonials from around the world. People that started with so little and developed so much. People have asked me, why Herbalife? And I want to give you just a little list of why Herbalife has become such a remarkable company in the last 15 years. A couple of years in the planning, putting the products together. When I first met Mark, Dick Marconi and those others who helped Mark put this product together, now stretches back about 17 years. Why in the last 17 years has Herbalife reached this incredible place, head and shoulders above the rest in the industry? One of the most remarkable business stories of the 20th century. How did we get here? And I want to give you the list. Here's number one, leadership. Unless somebody steps out front, I'm telling you, nothing's going to happen. You can have the finest products, you can have the finest marketing, you can produce the finest literature, but unless somebody leads the way, the products will gather dust on the shelf. And the marketing plan will be a lifeless set of numbers locked away in some closet. But when somebody takes up the products, takes up the marketing numbers and the idea, and steps out front and leads the way, that's what makes something like this finally happen. And I couldn't be more proud of anyone in my life than I am of Mark Hughes, leader of Herbalife. What an incredible job he's done. From the background he came from, no college education, no university education, 9th grade dropout, right? His mother and the tragedy she had. The judge had to decide who he was to live with when he was a little kid. Got involved with drugs, managed to escape. Never met his father until he was 20. And in spite of all of that, found a dream, put it together, and step by step made it work. That's the first prerequisite for something that finally happens like this after 17 years, and that's leadership. Somebody willing to step out front, not only to take advantage of the opportunity, but to take on the responsibility. And Mark has done it now, the last 17 years, with more dignity than any other executive I know around the world. He did it with more courage than anybody else I know. I don't know everybody, but the ones I do know, top executives around the world, nobody's had more courage, nobody's had more dignity, nobody's learned more skills, been more powerful as a leader than Mark Hughes. That's number one. Then, of course, Mark couldn't do it by himself. Not too long ago, Mark realized that in order to go country by country around the rest of the world, he was going to have some help. And he called on the president's team. And he said, I want you to leave your family once in a while, make arrangements in your country to have everything done so you can go visit another country. And the last 2.5 years has seen the most remarkable explosion of people dedicated to an idea as the president's team have crisscrossed the world, leaving their organization, leaving their families for a while, picking up an airline ticket, and someone from Australia heads to Italy, and someone from Italy heads to North America. Someone from Spain goes to South America, It has been the most incredible response to a call that I've ever seen in all of my business history the last 40 years. And my hat's off to those who lended a hand to Mark Hughes, called the President's Team. I'm proud of you. What a job you've done. I'm telling you, some books are going to be written. One about the dream and the vision of Mark Hughes, but also those that picked up the challenge, like the President's Team sitting out here in front of me on this incredible morning. I'm proud of you. Some of you have become my dearest friends. You've become part of my family. This has been the most extraordinary thing that's ever happened to me. I come from a very small family, like one. I mean, I'm it. I'm the prettiest and I'm the ugliest. I'm the youngest and I'm the oldest. I'm the best and I'm the worst. So, an only child. But when I came about 9 years ago, when Mark invited me to come on board, I asked the Herbalife distributors back then if they would please adopt me, since I was an only child, didn't have any brothers and didn't have any sisters. And guess what they did? They said, we will become your brothers and your sisters. Welcome to the Herbalife family. What an exciting day that was for me. So number one, to build a company like this, it takes leadership. Here's number two, the products. What a display we've had here of the history of health and nutrition and these incredible products that have spun out these incredible testimonials the last 15 years. Now millions of people have used these products. And now comes along the best of the best, Dermagetics, now the finest. Mark said, won't settle for anything but the best. And the testimonials now are going to start to flow from Dermagetics. But what a history it's been. 15 years of quality, second to none. Nothing but the finest. And of course, the best proof of the value of the products is the testimonials. For every testimonial we hear, remember there's thousands that we don't hear. For every testimonial that reaches our ears, there's thousands more that never get to us. There's thousands more testimonials that never appear in an Herbalife journal. So when you hear a testimonial, try to have the vision of all the thousands and tens of thousands of testimonials that are out there working, that are out there doing the job, making Herbalife what it is today, whether it reaches the journal or whether it reaches you or not. Number two is products. Number three, the marketing. I've been around business now for the last 35, 40 years in a very intensive way, and I've never seen a company more generous than Herbalife. I'm telling you, there's been nothing like it. And the climax of Herbalife's generosity is going to be displayed on this platform this evening, when the millions will be passed out to those that deserve it by taking Herbalife around the world. I can't wait for the ultimate display of Herbalife's generosity tonight, right here on this stage. It's going to be incredible. And when somebody asks you, how does Herbalife pay? I'm sure after tonight you're going to say, you should have been in Atlanta, Georgia, January 1995, when the climax of Herbalife's marketing was displayed by those who got the most extraordinary bonuses any company in the world pays. I'm glad I'm here to watch it all. And I want you to soak it up. Take it back with you, the stories. Try to get to meet some of the people who are going to be honored on this stage this evening. It's going to be incredible. Now, here's the fourth reason why Herbalife is so successful. Over these last 15, 16 years, Mark Hughes knew that he could not do the job by himself. Mark knew that he could take the product to his grandmother, but he couldn't take it to everybody's grandmother. He knew that he could take the product to his family, but not everybody's family. So Mark said, I need some help. Rather than advertise in the newspaper and television, radio, I'm going to give that money to some people who will help me. And so Mark put together this incredible marketing system and invited people to join. And I did come in when Herbalife was just a few months old to that first big meeting they had and watched Jerry Shatanovich, watched Doug Stuntz and those others as they responded to the call that Mark gave them and said, help me with this dream and I will reward you. Promises were made in those early days. Mark promised Jerry and Doug that if they would stick around him, he would teach them everything he knew and would help them every way he possibly could. They promised Mark that if Mark took his time and taught them, inspired them, and gave them his attention, that they would be dedicated and they would follow and that they would go do their best. And here's what's exciting about those promises that were made 15 years ago. Those promises still are working today in 1995. And now Mark is still making the promise to you, the promise to me, that he will continue to grow. He'll continue to learn. He'll continue to pass along to all of us his most valuable experience. And he will walk with us each step of the way. And all of you that have arrived at this extravaganza today is proof that you have also promised to Mark that you will study, you will learn, you will grow, and you will help him take this product out and touch the lives of millions of people after you walk out of this Atlanta Dome. And I want to be around for a lot of years to come to watch that promise come true as we march back to our countries, back to our villages, back to our cities, and walk the streets again, make the calls again, conduct the meetings again, touch the people again. It's going to be extraordinary now what's going to happen after this assembly has gotten back to where you came from. I'm telling you, your city will never be the same again. Your family will never be the same again. Your meetings will never be the same again after this extraordinary experience. When you talk to a customer, I'm telling you, they will never be the same again. When you have a training class, it's not going to be like the training classes you had before you got here. After this experience, it's going to be a whole new deal. I can't wait to watch it all unfold. Fantastic. The distributors now is what has made Herbalife come alive. The distributors that tell the story, the distributors that conduct the meetings, the distributors that take the products to the marketplace. I couldn't be more proud of a group of people than I am of you. The stories you've collected, the products you've sold, the times you've been out there when it wasn't that easy to get the job done, when people around you told you that you were crazy or that it wasn't going to work for you, or what gave you a clue that you could become successful. Yeah, Herbalife talks about getting rich, but it's not going to happen to you. I'm telling you, all of you in this room have been out there working in spite of all of that. And when the weather was bad and the nights were long and the criticism was deep, you went out there and did it anyway. And I'm telling you, the magic of Herbalife is sitting right here in this room. And I want to congratulate you for that. It's your hands that make it work. It's your voice that make it work. It's your words that give the dream content so that somebody can understand it, so that somebody can see it, so that someone can act on it. That's the part you play. And those are the 4 reasons why Herbalife is so tremendously successful. Leadership, products, marketing, and the hands and the voices of the distributors who take it to the marketplace. The unique story of Herbalife's success is the story of philosophy, the Mark Hughes philosophy. Those that do the work should get the pay, regardless of any other circumstances or any other criteria. Those that do the work. If a teenager does the work, gets the pay. Retired person does the work, gets the pay. A mother at home with her children does the work, gets the pay. no discrimination here. Regardless of nationality, regardless of religion, regardless of who you are, color, whatever, doesn't matter. Those that do the work get the pay. Mark's philosophy, it is unique. Mark's philosophy of always be sincere. Everyone is a possibility as a prospect. All prospects are equal. You never know who's going to respond, so always, number one, be sincere. Always do your best. 3, always give the complete story. Give someone a chance. That kind of philosophy. Incredible. Next, the unique Herbalife success is a success of unique reputation. Herbalife started small, but kept building and kept growing. Would Mark be reckless with the money? Would he spend it all? Would he be careless? Would he work it for a while, disappear over the hill? What is going to be the developing reputation of Herbalife by the time it reaches its 20th year? Well, it is now obvious to the whole world. It is now obvious not only to the distributors who participate, but those who watch on the sidelines, the communities and the states and the cities that have watched the Herbalife distributors work their magic with customers, other distributors, building an organization, and then coming back, making contributions to the community and the country in which they live. Mark leading the way, helping kids with drug problems, donating, mega millions to his unique family foundation, other projects. It's been a unique gathering reputation of a company that cares, a company now with a long reach, a company now with great influence. Part of it is in the industry that we're part of, health and nutrition. And part of it, of course, is in network marketing, right? Developing guidelines for the future so that companies will operate within those guidelines. A unique story of dignity. Mark leads the way here in a dignified manner, not a hysterical manner, and not, out of bounds, but a unique, dignified presentation with total sincerity. And it's obvious when you meet Mark. It's part of the mark of charisma. Obvious sincerity. Obvious compassion. Really caring about what happens to other people. Obvious willingness to serve. A touch of humility. That's what builds a classic success story and the man that leads the way. Dignity. The unique Herbalife success story is now that Herbalife has found a place in history. And this will be more obvious as the opening years come of the new century. Looking back as we recount the 20th century. And already there are broadcasts and television and movies and all kinds of presentations now about this unbelievable century, the 20th. As disturbing as it was at times with the Great Wars, and even now with the troubles in certain parts of the world, part of the century dominated by dictators that are now almost all gone. It's been some kind of century. My father was born in 1903. I was hoping he would have lived until the turn of the new century, because that would have been something to have had 97 years in the 20th century. But anyway, a place in history. And as we look back on this century, business, social, politics, personal, community, nations, the global dynamics, Herbalife's going to have an extraordinary place in terms of its story, its effect on people, its contribution to the industry, and the effect it's had on people who've become leaders, not just in Herbalife, but in the community, in their religion, in politics and whatever. An extraordinary story. Part of it's going to be a guide for the future. Herbalife success story. If you're thinking of doing it right, you got to take a look at the Herbalife model. How it got started, the sincerity with which it was launched, the man who developed the skills, whatever necessary to keep it going. Whatever was required, he learned it. Whatever was necessary, he did it. Whatever was necessary, he bought it. Whatever was necessary, he created it. Whoever was necessary, he attracted. That's an extraordinary story. So, what a place. Herbalife serving as a role model. If you want to do it right in network marketing, if you want to do it right in health and nutrition, if you want to do it right in the rewards you give those who participate, Here's the way to do it. This is a model for all time. And as we close out this century and open up the next one, I'm telling you, the next century is going to use Herbalife as a model. But we've got a lot more years to go, so we're also going to be the model for the opening years of the 21st century. I'm glad you're part of it. Mark's philosophy, the Mark Hughes philosophy. And I'm going to mention just 3 parts of Mark's philosophy that helped us to become successful. His first philosophy was choosing this marketing system. Mark could have put the products in the store, advertised them on television, and he could have sold the products that way, using testimonials, television. But here's the philosophy of marketing that Mark chose, and it's good to make the note, person to person, rather than putting the products in the store. Here's why. He knew that if someone bought the product in the store, no one would follow up and get them to use the product. He knew the best way to get someone to use the product was person to person. Someone who used the product, getting someone else to use the product. Now, if you learn person-to-person marketing, you will have a tremendous skill for the rest of your life. Person-to-person marketing. It's a chance to make a fortune. Here's the power of Herbalife's marketing system. Directly and indirectly, you can positively affect the lives of hundreds of people. Some of you will positively affect the lives of hundreds of people using Herbalife's method of directly and indirectly. Indirectly means you affect someone's life, they affect 10 people. You affect them, they affect 10. When in fact you actually affect those 10 because you affected the person that affected the 10. That's what we call indirect influence. Some of you using Herbalife's person-to-person marketing directly and indirectly will affect the lives of thousands of people. Some of Herbalife's top distributors using this method of marketing are affecting the lives of tens of thousands of people. By Mark himself using this method of marketing, directly and indirectly has affected the lives of millions of people. That's how powerful this philosophy of marketing is, person to person. Affecting the lives of millions of people. Positively. And he never finished high school, never went to college, never went to university. It's amazing, using the power of this philosophy of marketing. Now here's the next philosophy Mark had. Those that do the work get the pay. If you're a teenager and you start, if you do the work, you get the pay. Weren't you one of the youngest, millionaire team members?
18.
18.
Yes.
So, jot this down. Age doesn't matter. In some places where you go to apply for a job, age does matter. If you're too young, they say no, you can't work here. If you're too old, they say no, you can't work here. You're too old. Too young, too old. Herbalife, age doesn't matter. Next, education doesn't matter. Some jobs, if you went to inquire, if you didn't graduate high school, you couldn't work there. So here, education doesn't matter, and age doesn't matter. Okay. Next, circumstances do not matter. Maybe you come from very modest circumstances. You know, having to start at the bottom. Mark says, welcome to Herbalife. That's where I start. So circumstances don't matter, education doesn't matter, age doesn't matter. Next, equal opportunity, men, women. Many women these days are looking for equal opportunity. Herbalife offers it. If you do the work, you get the pay. So that was Mark's philosophy. Those that do the work get the pay. There are some more parts to Mark's philosophy that you will learn as you go. Here's two. Number one, as many customers as possible to represent each distributor. That lays the foundation for Herbalife's success. The next customer is a potential Chairman's Club member. How many customers does it take to create 16 Chairman Club members? Answer, millions. How many does it take to create 16? Millions. So one of the key things to concentrate on is as many customers as possible to represent each distributor. If the number of customer ratio to distributor starts to change, everything changes up above. To do 3 billion, we need the customer base to go like this, like this, like this. To do 4 billion, to do 5 billion, I need 2 extra arms. The customer base, the bottom. As many customers as possible for each distributor. Next, Mark's philosophy. As many distributors as possible to represent each supervisor volume. If each supervisor volume represents only one person, we will soon be out of business. It's okay, one person to represent the supervisor volume, but not every supervisor volume. It's okay, but not for everyone. Because then we would have a lot of volume and no people. And here's where your future lies for your fortune: people, not volume. It's not the volume you create, it's the amount of people you create. Here's what's best, or better. 4 people each doing 1,000 that creates the supervisor volume. 4 people doing 1,000 to create a supervisor volume. Here's what's even better. 10 distributors doing 400 that creates the supervisor volume. Now the future is assured because you have 10 distributors representing the supervisor volume. And the future is not in the volume, it's in the people. The marketing system that Mark chose has a very significant reason why we market the products the way we do. And here's the simplified version of the marketing system: person to person. There's nothing more powerful than that. Mark knew that he had a product valid that could be put in the store and could have been sold on television, could have been sold by newspaper, could have been sold by magazine, could have been sold by some other means, by advertising. But Mark knew that if he put the product in the store, somebody might buy it. But who's going to follow up and make sure that somebody used the product? Mark said that's not likely to happen. And Mark's major goal was not to sell Herbalife products. You might find that an interesting statement to make, but it's absolutely true. Mark's ultimate goal is not to sell these products. Here's Mark's ultimate goal, and that is to get somebody to use these products. Mark did not sell the product to his grandmother when she got on the Herbalife products. He gave her the products because his main goal was to get her to use the product. She used the product, became one of his best testimonials in those early days, got him a lot more customers to begin with, and that started the company. So I'd like to have you make the note today, to make your ultimate goal not to sell Herbalife products, but to get people to use Herbalife products. Because here's the most powerful tool in building your business, and that is the testimonials. People using the products and getting value from it. People using the products and having their health improve. People using the products and feeling secure and knowing that they've got a complete nutritional support system for the challenges of modern day living and for the future. So, the marketing system Mark chose, person to person. Here's the best chance for someone to receive value from Herbalife products, and that's to hear the story from someone who's already using the products. If someone has used the products, they've received value, they now tell the story, that's the most powerful story. You've got to get on these Herbalife products because I did. I've got incredible value from these products. You got to try it, you got to try it, you got to try it. It beats all the advertising in the world. It beats television, it beats newspaper, it beats magazine, it beats all the rest. Herbalife sold person to person. There's only two things that you have to qualify for to be a good Herbalife distributor and represent these products well. And here are those two qualifications. Make the note. Number one, if you're impressed by the testimonials, if you've been impressed by the testimonials that you've heard from people that have used these products, and you have been impressed to the extent that you say, if those testimonials are true, I must call some people I know and make sure they use these products, whether I join the company or not. If that was your impression when you heard the Herbalife testimonials, then you will make a splendid Herbalife distributor. That the testimonials so impressed you that you would have said, if those testimonials are true, I've got to make some phone calls. I've got to contact some friends and some people I know and tell them about these products if those testimonials are true, whether I join the company or not. If that was your impression, if the testimonials about Herbalife products struck you that strongly, and you still feel the strength of that impact that the testimonials had on you all that some time ago, I promise you, you will be a splendid Herbalife distributor. Here's the next requirement to be a good Herbalife distributor, and that is willingness to go to work. Willingness to spend some of your time. I know some of you in this room may be part-time, and you can Herbalife will work well for you. You don't have to be full-time. Okay? You can be part-time because you can tell the story in little pieces of time. Before work, lunch hour, after work, weekends. Even though you have a full-time job, there's still plenty of time to tell the Herbalife story about these products. There's still plenty of time to tell the Herbalife story about the opportunity. And all you have to do is utilize whatever time you can spend in telling the story. And if you're willing to go to work and use what time you do have until someday looking forward to the time when you can be full-time with Herbalife, if you're willing to go to work in the time you've got and you're impressed by the testimonials of what these products do for people, then you will make a splendid Herbalife distributor. But that's all it takes. It doesn't take much capital. It doesn't take much money. You can start where you are. If you're scared, we'll show you how to start scared. We'll show you how to hand someone a brochure and just run away. But we'll show you how to make sure your telephone number is on the brochure. Guy gets home at night and says to his wife, Martha, you will not believe it. A grown man handed me this brochure and then he just ran away. She says, well, isn't that interesting? What is this brochure all about? And he says, I don't know. I haven't even looked at it. She says, well, let's take a look. So they look at this brochure. They see these stories. They say, let's call this man. So they call up this man and say, Bill, are you the man that ran away? And he says, yes, I just got started. I'm so impressed with these products and this opportunity, but I was scared to death yes, I'm the man that ran away. And they say, look, why don't you come on over and tell us the story about these products and this opportunity? So no matter where you are, no matter who you are, no matter how young or how old you are, no matter what kind of limited capacity you might be in, Herbalife is the opportunity for you, because you can start right where you are. We're affected by what we learn and what we know and the decisions we make. We're affected by what we learn, what we know, and the decisions we make. Now, here's what's interesting about decisions. Not making a decision is also a decision. People don't decide to gain weight, they just gain weight. What they have done is they have not decided to do something about their weight problem. So that's a decision. If you're going to catch the plane and you say, I don't know whether or not I'm going to catch the plane, if it leaves, you've now made a decision. You didn't catch the plane. So the decisions we think we don't make are just as effective and affect us just as much as the actual decisions we do make. So not deciding is a decision. But here's what the sum total of our life is at the moment: the decisions we've made in the past. Now all you have to do to change your future is to start changing those decisions. If someone decides to look until they find the opportunity, see, that is a powerful decision. And if you can help somebody make that decision, say if you haven't been actively looking, my best advice would be to you, the advice was given to me, keep looking till you find something. Every week spend some time looking, looking, looking. Because here's an ancient promise: if you keep looking, you will find. The ancient promise says, if you want a door to open, you must knock. This door doesn't open. This door doesn't open. This door doesn't open. When you talk to someone, it's like knocking on their doors. Is anybody home? But if you keep knocking, one door will open. If you keep knocking, another door will open. So if you decide to start looking, if you decide to start, those decisions are very powerful. It's more important what you become than what you get. And for me, it's been an incredible association, especially at these years of my life, when those that I went to school with find it strange that, you know, I haven't retired and I'm off on the beach somewhere with them. You know, I call once in a while one of my friends when I'm in Korea or South Africa, or when I'm in Russia, Vladivostok, or when I'm, you know, on some other country on the other side of the world. They find it strange. One, that I'm still working, let alone, you know, working in some far distant country. But it's been a unique life for me. Mark challenged me that I could develop more skills than I even had before, and could refine my philosophy and my communication skills and be of service. And so these 13 plus years have been extraordinary for me. And it's exciting to watch Mark, but it's also exciting to watch the people that have been attracted to these products, attracted to the opportunity. And of course, I get a chance to go all around the world and meet as many people as possible and listen to the stories. You know, I attend a lot of meetings and a lot of seminars, and as well as Herbalife's extravaganzas and special leadership weekends and all. But I have a chance to go from city to city, where sometimes the extravaganza doesn't reach. And I get to meet some extraordinary people that have got stories that are unbelievable. Not just the health stories by using these products, but the stories of starting with nothing and becoming something. The stories of having so little in terms of money capital, but so much in terms of desire, willingness to work, determination, ingenuity, and all of those incredible human values that are much more valuable than money. So if you take a little bit of money and a whole lot of spirit, heart, soul, ingenuity, attention, dedication, and mix that together with extraordinary products and a marketing system that allows you to go around the world and start at the bottom if you have to and get to the top, it is an excellent equation for building personal success, helping others to change their lives and become successful, and live a dynamic, extraordinary life.
Age 25, I was behind on my bills and my promises to my family and wondering where to go from there, and I had a chance to meet a very wealthy man. His name was Mr. Schoaf, Mr. Earl Schoaf. And my good fortune was he invited me to go to work for him. And I spent the next 5 years in his employ. And then, unfortunately, he died at age 49. But it was 5 of the most spectacular years of my life, as someone cared about me enough to take the time to teach me how to change, teach me how to grow. And that's where I first started hearing that language that I've become sort of famous for things to change, you've got to change. I started hearing that at age 25. And this man made such an incredible impact on my life, changed my income, changed my bank account, changed my future. Everything about me started in a real revolutionary way during that 5 years. And I wish that man was still alive today. I'd be giving him a lot of credit for me having arrived here to have a chance to spend this weekend with all of you. Let's get started. First note, we get paid for bringing value to the marketplace. Now, we not only need to learn this, we need to teach it to our children. They need to know that right away, here's how economics really works. We get paid for bringing value to the marketplace. Now, it takes time. It takes time to bring value to the marketplace. However, we don't get paid for time. Someone mistakenly says, you know, I'm making $10 for an hour. Not true. If that was true, you could just stay home, right? Have them send you your money. So it's not true. We don't get paid for the time. We get paid for the value that we bring to the marketplace. Now, since that's true, here's one of the key questions of the day. Is it possible to become twice as valuable to the marketplace and make twice as much money in the same time? Answer, of course. Is it possible to become 3 times as valuable to the marketplace and make 3 times as much money in the same time? And the answer is, of course. Is it possible to become 5 times as valuable as you are right now and make 5 times as much money in the marketplace in the same time? Is that possible? Of course. Is it possible to become 10 times as valuable as you are right now to the marketplace and make 10 times as much money in the same time? Is that possible? Of course. That's how all of these incomes started to be generated, some of them starting 13 years ago with Jerry, some 10, 11, 12 years ago, some not that long ago, 4, 5, 6 years ago. These incomes of $1 million and more, I'm telling you, that's how those incomes got generated, is by people who, number one, understood the marketplace, that there was a need in the marketplace. Herbalife was the best answer to that need. And then they discovered that in order to take advantage of the opportunity, not only did Mark have to go to work on making Herbalife valuable, but these people had to go to work on making themselves valuable to the marketplace to make this kind of money. Where you start is not where you have to stay. You got to put that in your notes. Where you start is not where you have to stay. That's what this ladder of opportunity is for. That's why Herbalife's got this increasing discount schedule, starting at 25%. But 25% is where you start, but it's not where you have to stay. All you have to do is grow. Now, why would the marketplace pay someone $50 an hour? Evidently, the marketplace would pay someone $50 an hour because evidently they have become more valuable. Why would the marketplace pay someone $500 an hour? Evidently, you just got to take a look, because evidently if one person is being paid much more than another, evidently they must have become more valuable. In America last year, top income $80 million. Why would a company pay one person $80 million for 1 year's work? Answer, evidently, right? Isn't that a good word? Evidently, this person must be very valuable. Work harder on yourself than you do on your job. Work harder on yourself than you do on your business. See if you can find some ways to multiply your value to the marketplace. And he said your income will immediately start to change. Up until then, I was hoping that the economy would change. I was hoping that my company would change. I was hoping that my paycheck would change. I was hoping that circumstances outside would change. And then here's what I found out. It isn't going to change. So then my question was, if it isn't going to change, how will my life ever change? And here's what my teacher taught me. When you change, everything will change for you. When you get better, everything will get better for you. And that's where I picked up that phrase, for things to change, you've got to change. You don't have to change the marketplace. You don't have to change the marketing plan. You don't have to change the economy. You don't have to change countries. You don't have to change circumstances out there. All you've got to do is look within and see if you can change yourself for the better. And as you change, things will start to change for you. Now, let's talk about becoming valuable to the marketplace. Here's number one, bring value to the marketplace. Bring value to the marketplace. What's exciting about Herbalife is right away, as soon as you've heard a testimonial or as soon as you've got one, you can bring that testimonial to the marketplace. Long before you have the skills, you can bring the product. You can bring the story. And that's valuable to the marketplace. So right away, you've got something valuable as soon as you've heard the story and you believe it. And you make a telephone call and translate the story to someone else, you have immediately brought value to the marketplace. Now here's number two, be valuable to the marketplace. Make those telephone calls. Put on the button. Hand someone a brochure. Give someone a simple invitation to listen to your story. Be valuable. Number three is becoming valuable to the marketplace. Right away we can bring value. Right away we can be valuable by telling our story, handing someone a brochure, giving them an invitation. But here's where the big fortune lies, and that is becoming valuable to the marketplace. As the business grows, you grow. As the opportunity unfolds, you grow. You get stronger, you get better, and you get wiser. Here's why a lot of people don't do well. They simply major in minor things. They spend too much time on the things that don't count, too little time on the things that would count. So here's what we teach, good for our children as well. Don't spend major time on minor things. We also teach don't spend major money on minor things. If those ratios are wrong right from the beginning, I'm telling you, it can be a disaster. In the last 10 years, if a man bought 2,000 donuts and 2 books, it would be easy to determine why his life is not working well. I'm all for both donuts and books, but 2,000 donuts to 2 books is a poor ratio. Almost anybody would conclude the guy's life is probably not working well because he spent too much money on donuts, not near enough money on books. Too much food for the body, not enough food for the mind. Okay, turning these ratios around, learning what few things are going to make the most difference. You don't have to get good at 1,000 things. Just get good at a few things, and your value will start to change to the marketplace, your value to your customer, your value to your distributor, your value to your organization, all of this refinement, a few things. We all must concentrate a great deal of our attention on our own philosophical conclusions, because this is what guides our life, our philosophy. The working of the mind, the ability to think and process ideas and information. This miracle process that human beings can engage in is simply incredible. The ability to use our mind to think, to process ideas and information that helps us to build a philosophy that guides our life. All kinds of philosophy. Political philosophy, of course, helps guide the nation. Economic philosophy determines whether or not you're going to be financially secure. A good health philosophy determines whether or not you're going to be healthy. A good working philosophy with your family determines whether or not that's going to work out well. Philosophy. Let me give you my definition of philosophy. Philosophy is the sum total of what we know, and number 2, the decisions we make. So first of all, we must gather knowledge. Second, we must sort it all out, decide what's valuable and what isn't valuable, and let that establish for us a philosophy to live by. You're going to have to go through the decision-making process and sort it all out. What you can use right away, what it's going to take a while for you to get involved in, sorting it out for you, how to make it fit for you, make it fit for your life, make it fit for your business. This process here is what establishes our philosophy. We've got all kinds of wind that blows out here, but what this philosophy does is help us to set the sail. The winds of opportunity, the winds of circumstances, the political winds, the social winds, the winds are always blowing. But here's the best part of education that I know of. You cannot change the winds, but you can change the set of the sail. And that's why we've come here to study today, is to see if we can't refine our thinking and our philosophy to help set a proper sail, so that no matter what wind blows. And when somebody says to you, what if this happens and what if this happens? Doesn't matter. What a power to walk away here with. Doesn't matter how the wind blows. I've gotten some information to set a sail, establish my philosophy, that's going to give me the guidance to building my business, building my organization, building my life, building my relationship with my family, building a good marriage, building all the values of my life. I've got the information. I've got the ideas. I've established my philosophy. My sail is set. Let the wind blow however it's going to blow. The political winds, the social winds, the winds of circumstance, the winds of reverses, the winds of the dark nights, the summer winds, the winter winds, I'm telling you, it's not going to matter. You're going to have an incredible sail set that'll take advantage of the winds so that you can go wherever you want to go. Now let me quote you from ancient script. Here's what it says. If you cannot see, you perish. You die. We've all got to have a future to work for. We've all got to have the ability to see something beyond ourselves, something beyond just today, something beyond just this week. The future, setting your goals. And a lot of people have asked me tips on how do you set goals. Let me just give you a simple little formula on setting goals. Vision of the future, being able to see beyond today. Here's a little formula for setting goals. Number one, decide what you want. Get together with your wife and decide, what do we want? Get together with your husband and decide, what do we want? Get together with the family, make some decisions. What do we want? Where do we want to go? What do we want to do? What do we want to have? What do we want to share? Then some of this has got to be personal. What do I want? What kind of skills do I want? What kind of income do I want? What kind of future do I see for myself? Not just for my family, but for me as well, because I'm going to have a major part in my family's future. What do I want? Get together and decide. Now here's number two. Write it down. Put it on paper. Sometimes you got to take things out of your head, not just operate out of your head. You got to take it out of your head and make a list. Make a list. Do the decision-making process and then just simply make a list. Write it down. Now here's number three. Keep the old lists. Keep the old lists of goals. One of the greatest signs of personal development is looking back on those old lists of goals. I look back at a list of goals I made 10 years ago, and I'm telling you, some things on there I'm a little embarrassed. Here's 10 years ago, here's what I thought was so important. Now I'm telling you, it's not that important anymore. I've grown, I've changed, I've matured. And I've got some of my goal lists that go back 20 years, 25 years. Some of those I won't even show anybody. Here's what I thought was so valuable. Now I understand so much better as my priorities have changed. Some of the things that used to be on the top of my list right now, I've learned they're not that important anymore. Other things have taken place on the top of the list. So, number one, decide what you want. Number two, write it down. Number three, keep the old lists. And here's number four, check off. When you do get something that's on your goal list, check it off. The first time I came to Spain many years ago, I happened to have my journal with me that had the list of goals in it. One of them was to someday go to Spain. And I had that journal with me, and when the wheels touched the runway in Madrid, I got out that list and I checked it off. Okay. So, first of all, attitude is how you feel about the past. It's how you feel about the future. And here's the third one. It's how you feel about everyone. You got to have a good, mature attitude about everybody. Everyone in your family. Everyone in your organization. Everyone in the community. Everyone in the world. Everyone in your country. Got to have a good, healthy attitude about everybody, and here's why. You can't succeed by yourself. We all need each other to make our business successful. We need each other to make a successful life. You can't succeed all alone. One person doesn't make a company. One person doesn't make a corporation like Herbalife. One person doesn't make a country. One person doesn't make a symphony orchestra. One person doesn't make a community. One person doesn't make a powerful nation. Not one person alone. Doesn't make harmony. You can't have harmony with just one. Got to have more than one. So to have harmony and possibility and opportunity and future and the strength of the collective society, the collective organization, I'm telling you, It comes from all of us working together. So you've got to have a unique sense of appreciation of everyone. The last one, the first one. You've got to learn to appreciate the youngest one. You've got to learn to sense the value of the oldest one. And the one that gives you the most joy and the one that gives you the most trouble. You've just got to have a unique sense of appreciation that it takes all colors and all kinds and all sizes and people with different dreams at different places in their personal development. You've got to learn to embrace them all and appreciate them all because it takes them all. Here's a good phrase to jot down. It takes all of us to make each of us successful. So each of us must understand how valuable all of us are. Nobody in the rest of the 90s is going to be a match for all of us. All of our talents, all of our skills, all of our dedication, all blended together, various sizes, various ways and means. I'm telling you, the march is going to be on, the pace is going to be quickened. When we walk out of the 94 extravaganza, we will have an even bigger sense that nobody's going to be a match for all of us. We can go out there and deliver the products and deliver the goods and touch millions of people's lives, and I can't wait to be a part of it all. Now here's the next one that's vitally important. First, it's how you feel about the past. Second, how you feel about the future. Third, it's how you feel about everyone. And here's number 4. It's how you feel about yourself. I'm asking you to take today a renewed sense of self-confidence. Now, the first is simple, that you come to the logical conclusion that if Mark Hughes can do it, from where he started, 9th grade education, high school dropout, Mark never met his father until he was 20 years old. The judge decided who he was to live with when he was a little kid. His mother dies from a drug overdose when he's 18. He starts a little company, right, operating first of all from the trunk of his car, but step by step, from that small beginning, he conquered all of his challenges. It didn't matter the winds that blew for Mark, because he started setting a sail early in his life that's guided him, and he's strengthened that sail up until now, serving as an example for all of us. And I'm telling you, Mark's central theme of his whole story is, if the kid from the tough side of town can do it, anybody can do it. With his background and the strikes against him, if he can overcome all of that and build a company second to none, if he can grow, you can grow. If he can get his arms around $1 billion enterprise, so can you. If Mark can make his fortune starting where he did, so can you. If he can change, you can change. If he can pick it up, you can pick it up. If he can turn around, you can turn around. If he can go on an accelerated personal development path, so can you. Pick all that up. Pick it up from the president's team. Pick it up from each other. Pick it up from the farm boy from Idaho raised in obscurity. Pick it up from all of these that have come to associate here together and walk away from here with a whole new sense of yourself and the gifts that you've got to bring to the marketplace. Do not deny yourself a chance to grow, a chance to change, a chance to become better than you are, bigger than you are, a bigger heart than you had before, more insight than you had, and give yourself the chance to grow. If anyone can do it, we all can do it. If you want to be able to get your arms around a big organization that produces $1, $2, $3 million a year income, you got to develop the skills. You've got to put yourself through the early disciplines. But now here's what's exciting about the disciplines. One of my key phrases for the whole day: disciplines work miracles. Disciplines work miracles. And here's the first piece that works miracles. Number one, do what you can. Do not let neglect grab you by the throat. Don't let neglect stall you on your path toward prosperity and health, being able to become powerful, influential, rich beyond wildest imagination. Don't neglect what you can do. If you can read, read. If you can change, change. If you can grow, grow. If you can take one step, take one step. Do not neglect to do whatever you can do at the moment. Of course, you can't run a multi-billion-dollar business today. Mark couldn't either 10 years ago. Mark couldn't either 5 years ago. But I'm telling you, today he can do it because step by step, year by year, he took on what he could do. He didn't neglect it. He did the meetings he could do. He made the calls he could make. He read the books he could read. He took the classes he could take. And step by step, he got himself ready. I'm telling you, do not neglect to do whatever you can do because it'll work miracles. Of personal development first, productivity second. Now, do what you can. Here's number two, do the best you can. Hopefully you've picked that up, especially from the president's team. That's how they got here, with diamonds in their pins. They not only did what they could, they did the best they could. And they've done the best they've been able to do, and I'm telling you, that's why Herbalife has got this incredible reputation. They've picked up Mark's challenge that said, let us grow, let us start with easy steps first, let's do what we can first. If it's a foggy night and you can only see 100 feet, how can you see another 100 feet? Answer, walk the first 100 feet. Walk as far as you can see, and then you can see some more. And walk as far as you can see, and then you can see some more. So what you've picked up here, just do it as far as you can see it. And I promise you, if you'll execute as far as you can see it, you'll be able to see more. Do that, then you can see more. And finally, get in tune of doing the best you can. And you'll have the activity that'll develop the disciplines that will set this sail so that you can say, it doesn't matter how the wind blows. I'm prepared. The disciplines that work miracles, here's the real miracle that works so well in Herbalife. Investing life into life. One person's life invested in another. I'm telling you, you cannot have the potential for miracle with any simpler formula than that. Somebody who develops a testimonial and now invests that testimonial in someone else's attention, someone else's mind, gets them to think about it, gets them to respond to it. Now we've got the miracle called a new customer. Investing the opportunity, idea in someone, telling them the Herbalife opportunity, now we've got a new distributor. Disciplines create new life by investing one person's life into another person's life. That's why I came by today. Mark Hughes invited me to come along on this journey to let me do something so grand and so powerful. I would not have missed this opportunity to invest a piece of my life into this many lives here today. I'm telling you, it's going to work miracles. And I'm asking you at home, because our whole life is not only concerned with our business and our customers and our distributors and our organization, all of the things that we're proud of, and the banners and the flags and all the rest of it. One of the most important is to become valuable by discipline to your family. No greater place can you invest life into life than to invest in your family. Don't give your distributors the best of your attention and your family the least of your attention. Don't be careful with your distributors and careless with your family. Be just as careful with a child as you are with a distributor, because sometimes we think about volume and we think about money and we think about income, so we're very careful. But sometimes the people around us who need this investment the most to create new life, sometimes we're a little careless about investing life into life when it seems like it's so close and it's so familiar. We don't take the time to study ways and means for the language and the skills to invest life into life concerning our family. Don't be short here. Lifestyle. The ultimate challenge of life is to take your results and jot this word down: fashion. Fashion for yourself a good life. Fashion for yourself a good life, like weaving a tapestry. A good life does not happen by accident. My teacher, when I was 25 years old, gave me two phrases, and I want to give you those two phrases as I wrap it up here today. And these phrases helped to change my life. Here's the first one. If you wish to be wealthy, study wealth. If you wish to be wealthy, study wealth. He gave me a little simple formula to consider. A wealth formula. The first 6 years of my life, I wound up broke. First 6 years of my economic life, I wound up broke. Second 6 years of my economic life, I wound up rich. He gave me a whole new economic philosophy. I studied it. I practiced it. I became wealthy. But here was the second phrase he gave me. If you wish to be happy, study and practice the art of happy living. Up until then, I had no concept that happiness was a study. My best hope for happiness at age 25 was just to go around with my fingers crossed, hoping something would make me happy. And he said, no, happiness is something you fashion. Happiness is an art. It's not an accident, it's an art. And so I'm asking you to study and practice the art of living a happy life. And start with your family. If you want a happy evening, you have to design it. It's not going to happen by accident. If you want a happy weekend, you've got to design it. You've got to fashion it. You've got to weave it like a tapestry with your own hands, your own ideas. Don't leave an evening to the winds. Don't leave a child's birthday to the winds. Don't leave a weekend that's important just to the winds. Let the winds blow. Fashion the day. Fashion the weekend. Fashion the evening. Engage in this kind of happy living called lifestyle. For your family. Another part of it is culture. You got to go to the plays. You got to see the movies. You got to go listen to the orchestra, the symphony. You got to let these things affect you. Enjoy that part of your life. Fashion it and enjoy it. Take an hour, take a couple of hours, take an evening, and go soak up the symphony, soak up the music. And when you do this with family, with culture, lifestyle, here's what happens. Number one, you can enjoy it. It's a spendable commodity. But here's the most exciting part of all. The feelings you get from here, the coin, the currency, the worth and the value you get from fashioning a happy life, fashioning a conversation with a child, fashioning a love experience. A good marriage is not a marriage that's left to the wind. It must be well woven. A friendship must be well constructed. A cultured life must be well woven, well constructed. A love affair must be well woven. I'm telling you, all of these values that come from lifestyle And nobody can engage in the art of lifestyle better than Herbalife distributors, Mark Hughes being one of the best. And even from the simplest of lives. Better to live in a tent on the beach and be in love than to live in a mansion by yourself. But now here's the last part. This is the most exciting. Not only can a well-fashioned lifestyle experience be enjoyed, here's the powerful part. It can be invested. It can be invested. Because here's what really happens. You take lifestyle, all those values, all the coin, all the currency of lifestyle, and you invest it. This feeling here helps you to now, drives you to do the better study. Why? This whole cycle keeps coming around. Philosophy, attitude, disciplines create lifestyle. Lifestyle inspires you to go back, develop an even better philosophy, stronger attitude, more detailed disciplines. All of that helps you to produce lifestyle. And if you fashion this well, love affair, marriage, culture, evening, weekend, all of this good stuff now, that inspires you now to read, study and grow, develop your philosophy, strengthen your attitude, pick up the disciplines. This whole cycle, I'm telling you, there's nothing like it once you understand how to live this way.